Preacher here, and this morning I want to talk about trusting God. And I want to look at two different situations. I want to look at a situation where somebody didn't trust God and took things into their own hands. And I want to look at a situation where somebody did trust God. And I want to reflect on how God handled those situations. So we're going to look at Moses and Stephen. Let's start with Exodus chapter 2, starting at verse 11. One day when Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and looked on their burdens. And he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his people. Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew and thought, what an injustice. Someone needs to do something about this. You see, two wrongs don't make a right. And being the greater of two evils is still evil. God will not cause you to be evil to do good. It's simply not his way. Let's read on. Exodus 2:12. He looked this way and that way, and seeing no one, he struck down the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. See, there's no secret sin. God knows all. And he expects us to trust him. Proverbs 3:5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not to your own understanding, but acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will make your path straight. You see, Moses looked both ways to see that no person saw him. And then he hid this body in the sand. But, the Bible says that your sins will be found out. There's no hiding anything from God. Let's read on. Ephesians 2:13 through 15. When he went out the next day, behold, two Hebrews were struggling. And he said to the man in the wrong, why do you strike your companion? He answered, who made you a prince and a judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? Then Moses was afraid and thought, surely the thing is known. When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and stayed in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. Now, in acting on his own with good intentions, Moses betrayed God. He caused the Hebrew people that he was trying to help to distrust him. And Pharaoh, who he served, to turn against him by not trusting God. With good intentions, he gave victory to the enemy. If you're at this point in your life, it's not too late. There is redemption in Jesus. You can turn things around with God's help. It may take some time. It took 40 years for God to get Moses ready. But it's not too late. You can turn to the Lord today and ask him for help. You can turn to the Lord today and ask him to turn things around. And it starts by trusting him wholeheartedly, by giving him your whole self, letting God be the one to take the reins, allowing God to make amends where there needs to be, and allowing God to move you in the direction in his perfect timing that he needs to move you. Now let's look at someone who trusted in God in a life and death situation. Let's go to Acts chapter 7, starting at verse 48. Yet the Most High does not dwell in houses made by hands, as the prophets say. Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. What kind of house will you build for me, says the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? Did not my hands make these things? You stiff-necked people, uncircumcised in heart and ears. You always resist the Holy Spirit as your father did. So do you. Which of the prophets did your fathers not persecute? And they killed those who announced beforehand the coming of the righteous one, whom you have now betrayed and murdered. You who received the law as delivered by angels did not keep it. You know, as Stephen was speaking, he was telling these people a lot of truth. And sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. They can't handle it. And he's telling the truth that God laid on his heart to tell them. And so, just because God has done great things in your life don't mean you're on the right path. You can't serve God with your body and miss him with your heart. That's called being religious. Jesus died on the cross because you could never pay that price. You are saved by grace. God don't want your works. He wants your heart. Let's continue on in chapter 7, verses 54 to 60. Now when they heard these things, they were enraged, and they ground their teeth at him, but full of the Holy Spirit, gazed into heaven and saw the glory of God, and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. And he said, Behold, I have seen the heavens open, and the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God. But they cried out with a loud voice, and they stopped their ears, and they rushed together at him, and they cast him out of their city and stoned him. And the witnesses laid down their garments at the feet of a young man named Saul. And as they were stoning Stephen, he called out, Lord Jesus, just receive my spirit. And falling to his knees, he cried out with a loud voice, Lord, do not hold their sin against them. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. He cried out for forgiveness for the people that were killing him while he was killing them, because he had shared the truth with God. He was trusting God through everything that happened to him, even in his death. Stephen was fully trusting God, living his witness until death, but received everlasting life. Revelation 2:10, a small part of it says that if you stay faithful even to the point of death, you will receive a crown of everlasting life. It's because if you truly believe in what Christ did for you, you're gonna live it. If you don't believe, you'll backpedal in those kind of situations. Allow God to work in your life today. Start a solid relationship with him. It says, and in trusting God and not turning against these people, allowed God to raise up a great witness from that crowd, Saul of Tarsus, also known as the Apostle Paul. Paul, who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament, God used him to do great things. Let God work his vengeance. Let God work his plan. Stay faithful and follow the leader. Follow God. You know, God worked a great conviction in Paul's life because of events like that. Because people allowed God's will to be done. And so we have to trust God in his work and the way he works things, in his timing. We need to make sure that we are following God wholeheartedly, that we trust him. Because if we don't trust the one who gave his life for us, then do we truly believe? You know, Romans 10:9 says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. I truly believe that if you believe that, you're going to heaven, and you're going to let the fruits of God show in your life. Anyway, have a blessed day and apply God's word to your life always.